If you love work-life balance, I never want to work with you ever. It starts from you as the leader of the company to lead the team and to find the right people. When we first went viral in September 2024, we had one creator that went viral, got 1 million views, and that started the trend of actually people were starting to, get poppy. Because initially they were trying to sell poppy and that just was not working. 30 calls per day for 2 weeks straight with every single customer. It was tiring as fuck. Every single day, we ended our day at about 12 a.m. to 1 a.m. And I feel like that was what allowed us to take us to 500K a month. Just go all in. If they don't reciprocate, then they're not a team fit. We don't do as much testing as normal companies do. We like to do this thing where we like to break fast but then fix fast at the same time. Today we had a bug that pretty much paywalled every single person. We had like hundreds of messages of like, guys, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on? Why am I paywall? Why am I paywall? What's going on? The customer support was going crazy. The dev team were like, okay, holy shit, all hands on deck. What's going on? Within 5 minutes it was solved. A company does not use their product and they kind of feel stuck, I feel like. Our role is to build this company to a $1 billion company. If you want work to not feel like work, build Poppy from 0 to 500K, and I'm gonna cut it pretty short. And it just comes down to a few things I feel like we did that were right. And those few things are: we talked to thousands of customers. We spoke with hundreds of creators to work with us. We worked on the product every single day. We focused on one product and not 10. And we built an amazing team with an epic culture. And that's what we're still doing. And I feel like that was what allowed us to take us to 500K a month. This is very general, of course. There's a few key parts I feel like that took us from 0 to 500K, which is like besides the general part, I would say it's one, we found product market fit, and how we found that was we actually we talked to a lot of customers. When we first went viral in September 2024, we had one creator that went viral, got 1 million views, and that started the trend of actually people were starting to get poppy. Because initially we were trying to sell poppy and that just was not working. But after that, we were taking every single onboarding call with every single customer. And so me, my co-founder Kazi, Amanath as well, our operations, we were doing 30 calls per day for 2 weeks straight with every single customer. And it was tiring as fuck. Like, every single day, we ended our day at about 12 a.m. to 1 a.m. But for every single day, we taught our customers how to use their app. We learned from our customers. And as a result, we were able to change our copy on our landing page. And as a result, we were able to improve the product for those customers specifically. And I think overall, just having that amazing product and overall having an amazing ties with our customers is what led us to 500K a month. Because at this point, 60% of our revenue comes from referrals. And what that tells me is, and that what tells us is the fact that there's a few things that we're doing right, which is customer success, which is listening to the customer and building a product for the customers. So the customers are loving the tool, we're listening to the customers, and we're constantly improving the tool. And I think that is what allowed us to get to 500K. And I think there's a lot of those things that a lot of people are not doing that's keeping them stuck at wherever they are in the SaaS business. That you personally love to work with, that are willing to put their heart and their soul into the product. You find people like Nico, like Lance, like Manath, right, that we have on our team, and a bunch more team members that we have, of course, working with us. But how we do it, I feel like, is it starts from you as the leader of the company to lead the team and to find the right people. If you yourself love to work with high energy people, if you yourself are, have a bar for like, okay, I will not work with people that I cannot be friends with, then of course you will build an amazing culture, because you're just building a culture of friends. Like everybody here right now, we're in Mexico, and I mean, dude, it feels like we're just friends building some shit, right? And it's fucking amazing. And I think I think the reason why it got to that point was both me and Kazi. One, we just have an amazing energy within us. Two, we lead with our heart. Like every single person who's on the team, like we love every single person. We are also very critical with every single person, meaning if we want to improve or want someone to improve, we talk with them. But when of course, when that person deserves it, we give them love, and so much love. Every single day. Actually, I think this is a key thing that I think that we do that's right, is I think we give a lot of love to every single person that works with us, I feel like, especially the core team. And I think a lot of people don't do that. I think a lot of people work very corporate type, and they hold back. I think what me and Kazi do is, actually, this is a really key part. I think that what me and Kazi do really well that brings an amazing culture is we lead with the heart, and we lead with the heart, and we give people as much love as possible. Like when somebody new comes into our team, dude, it doesn't matter if we barely know you. We give you all of our trust. You have our logins. You have our Google logins. We give you all of our energy we possibly can, even if we're not sure if we can get that back. But because we're able to give all of that, I think we're able to receive that as a result. And I think that's what builds an amazing culture. I think a lot of people, when they build teams, and again, we're not perfect in team building yet, we're still constantly improving. When they build teams, I feel like they forget about, hey, let me give everything I possibly can, and basically what they just do is they try to hold back. They're like, oh, I'm not sure of this new person, let me be careful with them. Versus like, just go all in, and they reciprocate, great. If they don't reciprocate, then they're not a team fit. Oh, that is fucking amazing, actually. That is fucking awesome. I love that. Yeah, that is why. I think that's what makes it, right? I think that's true, though. That's why Joel felt so welcome. Yeah, because we just give everything. We just give everything we possibly can, and it's like, for people who cannot take that, they don't fit, right? They see all like, oh my god, and all of a sudden they're scared and they back out. This is why some of the team members who came in did not work with us after like a week or 2 weeks. Yeah. But then afterwards, like for those people who loved the love and they want to give back, so then now we got so much love from here, and then we just create a fucking like this ginormous bomb of love, And I think that's what creates amazing culture. Why do we have that? No, I think why we have that, and it's very contagious, I feel like. I think both me and Kazi, it's weird. I think it just stems from a lot from how you're born, maybe. It stems from a lot how you were raised. Yeah. I think it's a lot of it's from the environment. Like my mom showed me nothing but love every single moment, right? I was always thankful for everything. I'm foreign raised, from Ukraine, fucking came here when I was 9 years old. I'm super thankful for everything I got. And so for me, being around people that I love, it's always been a dream of mine. Because I'm a big culture person, right? Like, I love Ukrainian culture, I love dancing, I love being in the groups, right? And I'm excited about everything that there is to life, right? Because I realized that when you give all you got to life, life gives you all it got as well. And I think that's why we are here, right? Me and Kazi, we give everything we possibly got. When we left our previous businesses, we give everything we possibly got for this. And I think that's why we got to where we are right now, which is so super cool. A lot of co-founders in San Francisco, and I think the biggest thing that I see that a lot of people don't do is they get lazy on learning from the customer. They don't value that enough because it's not a direct sale. They don't see it as like, oh, they see it as like, I just need get more customers. Let me just pay somebody. Let me pay somebody to do customer success. Let me pay somebody to do onboardings. Let me just do the onboarding somewhere within the app. I think the thing that did it right for us is when we start to get a lot of customers, we did onboardings every single day. Every single person was able to get in touch with us. Every single of our customers has our fucking phone number. Like, where do you have that? You know what I mean? And then there's a lot of places that just don't have that. They outsource that to somebody else. And I feel like what we did right was we listened to just all the customers and we took notes. And as a result, we improved on the product. And I think that's what made the product so loved by so many people. And as a result, that's what made it so shareable. So many people share the product, tell their friends, their family, their community, etc. And I think that's the biggest mistake that people don't make is they don't talk to customers. So talk to your customers, learn from them, understand their pains, understand how to solve their pain, and continuously make your product better that will solve those pains for them. And by the way, we ourselves are still constantly, improving on that side. Like to this day, a year in, I have 2-3 days where I take nothing but calls with customers, right? So that's crazy sometimes. Doesn't matter how busy we get, we still make time to get connected with the community that is using our app. And I think that is what a lot of apps don't have. And they tell us that actually. Like we had literally somebody who was like, hey, what these guys are doing right is like they're building a community around the app, around their SaaS, for example. While most people are just like getting they're focused on too much about the investment. Too many people are focused on like, hey, actually this is right. Too many people I feel like are focused on investors. They're focused on pleasing investors versus pleasing the customer. People have an advantage over others. So if you're I think anybody, I'll start with it again. I think anybody can build an AI SaaS, but there are people that have advantages. If you are somebody who has technical skills, you have an advantage. If you have somebody who has marketing skills, you have an advantage. If you have both technical skills and marketing skills, you have the utmost advantage, right? If you don't have either, then you need to learn one of them. So that's what I would say. But I think, anybody can build a SaaS as long as like they understand like what it takes to build it and they're not afraid to take the risk. Because a lot of people, I feel like they think, like I talk to a lot of people and they're like, I've spoken with some people who have wanted to build SaaSes, but the problem is they have never actually learned from other people on what it means to build SaaSes. They have this idea like, hey, let me just get investors. Versus just like, hey, let me actually learn from these different tools, or let me go work for somebody first, learn from them, and then I can build an AI SaaS myself. And I think that's what a lot of people are missing. I think the piece of advice I would give, it's so difficult because it's so difficult when looking back because you're like, the process that it took through to get to this point makes sense. It just makes sense. It makes sense that to go through the tough times. It makes sense to go through all the different times when you question if what you're doing is right or wrong. It makes sense to question, hey, what type of marketing technique works? Yes, exactly. 1, have an amazing team around us. 2, building a product first for us. 3, believing the fuck out of it. 4,
be jacked.
Being jacked. 5, being lucky with the marketing. Like we got lucky with the video, that first video that went viral. I'll be honest with you, it feels like luck. But yes, we did try out different forms of marketing. We tried webinars. We tried doing YouTube. We tried, doing ads, and nothing was fully working. But then one video is what changed the game for us, and that's actually the same thing that happened to Gen AI. And I'm sure, and I know a lot of our other companies happen the same way, which is like there's like one thing that just worked, and then you go all in. But before that one thing, there's a fuck ton of tests that you have to do to figure out that one thing. Question. I'm the chief jacked officer. I mean, okay, so my role technically on paper is like is CTO. I technically work with developers to build the product and to make the product better. That's the technical term, right? But my role overall in the company, I feel like, is I switch between marketing, between development, between sales, between coming up with new ideas. I think it's more so, when you're starting a company, when you're a co-founder of the company, it doesn't matter actually if you're a co-founder or not, you have to take on multiple roles. For example, Nico, right? You're not just the fucking editor, right? You make content, you make vlogs, you do our fucking ads, you run our fucking ads, right? Like, you did a fuck ton of shit, dude, for us, dude. Like, your ads are making us 40 grand a month. You know what I mean? So everybody has a fuck ton of roles. So it's like, what is your role? You know what I mean? Like, what is your role? Ads, content creation, fucking the chief of fucking, he's also the chief chef as well. Oh, yeah, the chief chef. He's like the house chef. He always cooks, dude. The house chef officer, So I think it's funny, which is like, I don't think there's a role that we have, I'll be honest with you. I think our role is to build this company to $1 billion company and while also having fun and having the most lit ass people around us. I think that's the role. But managing developer teams right now is a little bit difficult, I'll be honest with you, because I don't have an engineering lead. Which is like, if you're an engineering lead that wants to be part of a software company that is growing super fast and is genuinely changing how creators, founders, marketers, agencies are using AI to make money with AI, please comment the word somewhere or DM somewhere, or maybe there's a link, comment the word, let's just say, I don't know, job, and apply with us, because we would love to work with you. We would love to work with the talented people who've led dev teams before. On that note, it is tough right now because I am in so many different directions. I go from doing calls with customers to doing hiring, to working with devs, to then checking their PRs, planning the next week, for example. And so as a result, I actually don't have as much time as I would like with developers. And I feel like sometimes as a result, developers are a little bit much slower as a result. I feel like if I was more on top of it, we would be a lot faster. But in terms of how I run it, it's pretty simple, I'll be honest with you. How I run developers is, we have a daily meeting, a daily stand-up at 10 a.m., 11 a.m. in the morning. We go through what's our, what we did for the last day, what we're doing today. If there's any stopping points that like stopping us from doing our work, for example, we go over any ideas we have. We love to ideate like the next thing we can build for Poppy and any problems that we have to go through. And I think that's pretty much it. And then the rest of the team just kind of works through these issues. And then if you want to get even more technical, we use something called linear. I use something called linear to divide up the tasks and to see the tasks. Like I can even give you a screenshot if you want. Actually, just let me know, please. It's like a really cool. It's actually looks sick as fuck. It's like for every single week I see like who's working on what, for example, in like this board. Yeah, it's kind of lit, honestly. So come a lot from customers. But I think that the ideas for features can actually come a lot from us. Of like, because actually this is huge. We use our product every single day. And I think this is why Poppy is so good. Because if we use our product, as a result, we get new ideas for our product. And then those new ideas translate into other people using those those new features. And so because we use the product every single day, we can come up with amazing new ideas, and those ideas turn into amazing new features, which then customers use as a result. If a company does not use their product, then they kind of feel stuck, I feel like. But because we use it every single day, we come up with amazing new features that people just love as a result. Because the cool thing is, our customers are literally like us. Like, our customers are literally like our friends. They're all founders, marketers, creators, literally us, like just us. And so like we just built for us. As a result, customers use that. If you love work-life balance, I never want to work with you ever. Okay? Genuinely. If you like that, that's fine. It's just not for us.
Work-life balance is for people that hate their jobs. But if you love your job, then you want to work.
The only thing you think about is working. Like, every single person here, we wake up at 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m. It is what? 12 a.m. right now? Look at my fucking watch. Look at my fucking watch. Look at my watch. Look at my watch. Look at my watch. Look at my watch. Oh, fuck, you can't see my watch. Hold on. Can you see my watch? Look at my watch. No, never mind. You can't see my watch. It's 11:46 p.m. right now. We're filming content. Nico here is editing. Lance here, well, he's chilling a little bit, but usually he works. And then Kazi's doing sales. And then we got Joel, who's also working with sales. Like, it does not stop. And why? Because we love it. I don't judge you if you don't like to work, okay? I feel bad for you, to be completely honest with you, but I don't judge you. So in terms of for us, why we don't want to work-life balance is because when the beginning, when you want to build a company, you want everybody who's fully all in, where their head is constantly around, okay, how do we improve this product? How do we make it better? How do we decrease churn? How do we increase LTV? What kind of new feature can we launch? This needs to be constantly on your mind. And for somebody who wants to work-life balance, that's just not going to happen. And so, if you're somebody who doesn't like work-life balance, who's excited to work 12 hours a day, who's excited to work on weekends, who loves building new features, coming up with new ideas, and then seeing those features live in production and being used by thousands of customers instantly, instantly, I don't mean like instantly versus like having them released in like months, like in enterprise, for example. If you love that, then comment the word job and we'll get in touch with you. But yeah, I feel like if you feel bored at your company, then you probably don't want like work-life balance at that point. But if you want to be excited to work at a company that gives you energy, that has the potential opportunity to, make you into a millionaire, like I think that's huge as well, right? When you're one of the first few of a fast-growing startup, you have a lot more potential to become a millionaire versus like if you're the thousands or the hundreds of thousands of an employee at a company. What you do doesn't make a huge impact versus if you're the fifth employee at a company, what you do has the biggest impact. And I feel like developers, they care about that because I know I do care about that. So yeah, that is pretty much the you make a sacrifice, but in return what you get is also amazing. Also, you get to travel with us. Like we're in fucking Mexico right now. We're in Thailand. Before we were in Thailand.
Me and Nico went to Korea.
They went to Korea. We're going to Norway. We're going to Colorado. So yeah, like look, of course, like I think when I talk about work-life balance, like to me, this feels like work-life balance right now. It doesn't feel like work. So if you want work to not feel like work, then come work with Poppy. I think the process goes like this. First, of course, we have to figure out what the feature is, understand like what the goals of the feature. Two, usually I get in a call with my designer, with our designer, and he's an amazing designer. He's one of my friends named Case, and he is not only designer but he's also developer. So he understands, how design should function for it to be an amazing UX. I talk to him first, come up with the mock-up there. First. From there, once you have a mock-up, We figure out, okay, now what are the technicalities that are necessary to make it work? Do we need to change anything when it comes to database wise? Do we need to update how the front end looks like, what the back end looks like? Gets communicated to the whole team. And then the front end team works, the back end team works together. And then once it's all done, we test, and the test passed, then it goes to production. So it's a pretty normal process that honestly most developers go through. The only thing that happens to us differently is that we don't do as much testing as normal companies do. We're usually, a lot lower on the testing side of things in order to be able to ship faster. So we like to do this thing. We like to break fast, but then fix fast at the same time. That's a fucking hard, dude, one. Like, everybody always fucking yells at me for like, Nas, why aren't you doing this? Nas, why aren't you doing this feature? I'm like, fuck you guys. like, everybody wants me to build every single feature now. Now. And I'm like, I don't physically have the capacity for it. So how I prioritize is I do my best, okay? I listen to the customers and what a lot of them are yelling about or talking about. I listen to Kazi and what he's yelling about, right? He has a huge impact on it as well. I listen to Manath, our operations and what he's talking about. I think priority goes like, okay, what will have the most amount of impact in terms of money for us and money for the customer? That feature gets prioritized first, okay? Which is money aspect, like. I'm like, oh fuck, the money aspect comes first. Can this feature make money for the customer? Can this feature make money for us? Okay, that's priority number one. Number two, once that's kind of handled there, I just look for general, feedback from customers, which is like a lot of them, hey, can we improve this experience? Or can we improve this experience? And I always look for, hey, is there anything that can make the experience of the customer better? Which is allow them to use Poppy easier, allow them to use Poppy faster. So the second part is, hey, how can we improve the experience? And then the rest of the stuff is miscellaneous, which is like, okay, at this point, maybe like we have a random idea we just want to do, and then that gets prioritized as like the last. Oh, but the biggest priority is us. Which feature do we love? Do we want to use within Poppy ourselves? That is one of the biggest ones as well. Yeah, because we ourselves are content creators. We ourselves use the product every day. So if I'm like, oh, I would love to have this in Poppy, okay, I'm gonna try to push this out as much as possible, like as fast as possible, and prioritize above a few other things. Because at the end of the day, we built the product for us, right? And then customers are second. To be completely honest with you, we are first, customers are second. All of them are all features are hard to build. But dude, there's a feature that we still haven't built fully that we're still building, and it's been 5 months now. Oh, the hardest feature we've ever built in Poppy it's actually a really good question. The hardest feature we've ever built in Poppy is actually doing, is implementing, what is it called? The hardest feature we've ever built in Poppy is actually collaboration. It was so difficult because, one, we had some team members who never knew how to build collaborative experiences. Collaborative experiences involve a lot of different things. Being able to think about this, you have to track of all different 5-10 people on the same board, right? All different 5 people moving things around, typing things around. All that data has to be shared across all the different people. How do you make that happen? It literally took us 3 to 4 months to build it. We tried one technology, didn't work out. But then we tried a second technology, and that actually was a lot better and a lot easier. But that was definitely a feature that was super difficult. We had to go through so much testing. It required so much of the core logic of the application being changed. Like if we screwed something up, if we didn't do it right, we literally could have screwed up the whole database of the project, and we could have screwed up everybody's boards. So when we were adding collaboration, we had to do it in a way where the people who were using the application didn't even feel it. And that was one of the hardest things to do. Required consistent testing every single day for probably a week to 2 weeks before even pushing it out fully. And it required 3 months of full-on development and multiple developers on this to make it happen. Didn't give a shit about it. But like, even though collaboration is one of the hardest ones, most customers don't really care about it. But I will say it is the foundation that will build the product that will turn this product into $1 million company. And at some point, it will be the reason why we close an enterprise customer that will pay us hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's the foundational layer. Like if you want to, for example, if the onboarding team wants to work with customers in order to build their Poppy board, you need collaboration. If we need to, as a team together, we need to work with 3 to 4 people on Poppy board, you need collaboration. If you have multiple tabs open, right, for your own board, you need collaboration. All those things are found. So collaboration is the foundation that allows everything else to build on top of. Without that, it's pretty much impossible. So it allows all the other features to shine a lot more. That's why. For example, today we had a bug that pretty much paywalled every single person. We had an API release that by mistake gave an error when getting your credit limit or your credit usage, and as a result, it paywalled every single person. And literally within a minute, like we had like hundreds of messages or like, guys, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on? Why am I paywall? Why am I paywall? What's going on? Like he had creators messaging them. Like the customer support was going crazy, for example. And then we were like, the dev team were like, okay, holy shit, all hands on deck. What's going on? Kopi was like, okay, great. I think we did this. Okay, awesome. Hey, let's go and reset everybody's credits. Let's just paywall them. Let's run a script to go through for every single customer, reset their paywall. Done. Within 5 minutes, it was solved. I mean, that's how we fix it. Like, if it's a really important bug, we fix it instantly, for example. If it's a bug that's like happens once or here or there, it's not prioritized as much. Features are prioritized first, and then the bugs, they're always there. They're just, you always have to squash them. Dude, if I sold a code for $1 billion and I had to decide my own role, I would make myself a developer, dude. Like, I would love to just be a developer. I would love to just code every single day. I don't have to take on any meetings, any calls. I can just think of an idea. I can build it, brainstorm on it. I can plan it. I can use Poppy. I can use Poppy to plan it. Nobody will bother me. It will be the most perfect day ever. The most perfect day that I have is when I have no meetings and I sit down and I code. And that would be an amazing day. So if I can do that every single day, oh my God. I still love what I do, don't get me wrong. But I also love to code. And so it is a dream to have a company that you have, but also you get to code on it. Oh my God, I cannot believe. This was a dream a long time ago, back when I was doing Trendala, which was like our first startup. And I was like, one day, we'll build the SaaS, and we'll actually get to build it and code it, and then have thousands of customers use it. And it's actually real. It's happening. And then we have the most amazing people around us fucking working with us, bro. Like, what the fuck? Like, this is a dream. This is genuinely a fucking dream.